Hello. All right, here we go for our third video. So hope you guys are all doing okay, and I hope that the last readings helped you understand things, answered questions that you may have had. But please feel free to reach out in case there is like a passage that you didn't get and you want me to explain. Or if I did explain something but not well enough, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Also, hope you guys are doing well, staying healthy, staying like on task with stuff, and keeping yourselves entertained, and also getting a lot of rest. I know I've been sleeping in a little bit, doing a little exercise, but also, staying on top of work because you got to keep some structure to the day. All right, I'm just rambling on. So we are looking at Act 3, Scene 1. We are in Verona, a public place. So if you guys remember at the end of Act 2, Romeo and Juliet got married. We didn't see the wedding happen, but we know that they are now husband and wife thanks to Friar Lawrence. All right, so let's get going. So enter Mercutio and his page Benvolio and other random guys. So Benvolio goes, "I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the couples are abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl, for now these hot days is the mad blood stirring." So Benvolio, we all know he's such a good guy. He just wants to have peace on earth and like have everyone be happy. He's trying to convince Mercutio to go home with him. That way they can just hang out there instead of like being out in the public where all these other Capulets are. Because he's saying in these hot days, the mad blood is stirring, meaning that people are very hot-tempered when the weather is hot. Mercutio's having none of this. He starts to tease Benvolio and tell Benvolio that Benvolio himself has a hot temper and he's one of those guys that's likely to get into a fight, which we know is not true. So he's just joking around here. "Thou art like one of those fellows that, when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me a sword upon the table and says, 'God send me no need of thee,' and by the operation of the second cup, draws him on the drawer when indeed there is no need." So by the time you've had a second drink, you're likely to draw your sword out and try and fight someone. Am I like such a fellow? "Come, thou art as hot as a jack in thy mood, as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved." Basically, you get angry very easily. "And what too? Nay, and there were two such, we should have none shortly, for one would kill the other." So if there were two of you, you would both kill each other, so we would have none of you eventually. "Thou? Why, thou wilt quarrel with the man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast." Here he's going to list all of these ridiculous reasons why Benvolio would supposedly get in a fight. So there are just no good reasons to fight. Where did I leave off? "Thou wilt quarrel with the man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes." What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? "Thy head is as full of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as addle as an egg for quarreling." "Thou hast quarreled with the man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with the tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter, with another for tying his new shoes with old riband? And yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling," being like, "And you're telling me that I shouldn't fight?" Kind of calling Benvolio a hypocrite, which we all know is a lie. "And I were so apt to quarrel as thou art. Any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter." Basically, if I fought like you, my insurance would be really high. The fee simple. Oh, simple. Oh, Mercutio, what a trickster. Okay, here comes some trouble. Enter Tybalt, Petruchio, and some other men. Benvolio: "By my head, here comes the Capulets." "By my heel, I care not." "Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good den, a word with one of you." "And but one word with one of us? Couple it with something, make it a word and a blow." Mercutio's like, "Come on, let's make it interesting here. Let's just do more than talk. Let's fight." "You shall find me apt enough to do that, sir, and you will give me occasion." "Could you not take some occasion without giving?" "Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo?" And here we've got a pun between Mercutio and Tybalt. So Tybalt's asking Mercutio if he's friends with Romeo when he says consortest with Romeo. But Mercutio takes a different meaning of the word consort. So take a look on the left-hand side. Consort also means to play music with. Consort, what dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Zounds, consort. When he says fiddlestick, he means sword. We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw into some private place, or reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us. Benvolio's a little worried. He's saying, you know, guys, we're in the middle of this public place. Everyone can see us here. Let's go somewhere if you want to fight. Men's eyes are made to look, and let them gaze. I will no budge for no man's pleasure. Mercutio's like, whatever, I'll fight in front of everyone. Enter Romeo. And again, whenever Romeo enters, I want you guys to think of what kind of mood is he in. He's just gotten married to the love of his life, Juliet, so he is pretty happy and stoked on life right now. Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man. But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery. Marry, go before to field. He'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man. Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better than this. Thou art a villain. Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain, I am none. Therefore, farewell. I see thou knowest me not. So here, Romeo, he's got so much love in his heart right now because he's married to Juliet. And now, remember, Juliet was Tybalt's cousin. Romeo is Tybalt's cousin-in-law. So that's why he says, the reason that I have to love thee, like I have a reason to love you and to ignore the hatred that you're sending me. And that last line where he says, I see thou knowest me not, he says, you don't know me. And that's kind of true. Tybalt doesn't know the whole story right now. But think, if Romeo's being nice to Tybalt, it's probably going to anger Tybalt even more. Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw. I do protest, I never injuried thee, but love thee better than thou can devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine own, be satisfied. He's saying, when he says, but love thee better than thou canst divide, I love you in a way you can't understand, which is true. And then those last couple lines, Romeo's saying, I love the name Capulet, which is probably really confusing to everyone else, including Mercutio. Oh, calm, dishonorable, vile submission. Like, how can you say that, Romeo? Alla Stoccata carries it away. He draws his sword. Here we go. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk? Like, will you fight? What wouldst thou have with me? Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives, that I mean to make bold withal, and use you shall, use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out by his pilcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears, ere it be out. I am for you, and he draws 2. Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up, meaning like, put it away, put it away. Come, sir, you're passato, and they fight. Draw, Benvolio, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Stop. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince has expressly hath forbid this banding in Verona streets. So now, it's a lot more exciting when you can watch this. So just imagine these 2 guys really going at it in a sword fight, and Romeo steps in between them. Hold, Tybalt, good Mercutio. And Tybalt, under Romeo's arm, thrust Mercutio in. So it's like, he gets Mercutio and stabs him. And then Tybalt runs away. So much for being brave. I am hurt, a plague of both your houses. I am sped. Is he gone and hath nothing? So Mercutio is dying now. But remember, he's a trickster, so it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, where people aren't going to take Tybalt super seriously. They might think he's just joking around here. What, art thou hurt? Aye, a scratch, Mary, 'tis enough. Where's my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon. So the page exits, and Mercutio's kind of playing it off. He's like, no, it's just a scratch, but we know he's been stabbed pretty deeply. Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much. No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough, 'twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. Think about how that could be a pun, the 2 different meanings there. I am peppered, I warrant for this world, a plague of both your houses, zounds, a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch a man to death, a braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm. I thought it all for the best. Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague of both your houses. They have made They have made worms meat of me. I have it and soundly too. Your houses. All right, so Mercutio leaves us with a couple of really good lines. The first one is line 90. I pointed it out to you guys as I was reading it, where he says, "You shall find me a grave man." So we've got two meanings there, which makes it a pun. It's a play on words. One of the first meanings that we can think of when he says a grave man, think of like what it means for a man to be put in a grave. It means that he's what? He's dead. All right, so that's one meaning. Also think about what grave means, like if you're describing someone that has like a grave attitude or he spoke with a grave voice. So I'm not going to give you guys that one completely away. Just think about that. That's a big clue. All right, and then the last couple lines, he said, they have made worms meat of me. Think of that. What does it mean to be worms meat? What do worms eat? Where do you have to be in order for a worm to eat you? You have to be 6 feet under. So he's basically saying that he's dying. And again, people are not taking him super seriously because he's kind of joking around. All right, so he exits with Benvolio. Benvolio's taking him away to get someone to take care of him. All right, and now Romeo, he was so happy, so in love. Now he's very angry because his best friend has just been killed. This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf. He was killed because of me. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt that an hour hath been my cousin. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper soft and valor steel. Meaning that your beauty, your love, has made me weak. And Benvolio comes back. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, brave Mercutio is dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired to the cloud, which too untimely here did scorn the earth. His spirit has gone to the clouds, like he's gone up to heaven, and he's left the world too early, too untimely. This day's black fate on Mo days doth depend. This but begins the woe others must end. And Tybalt comes back. Here comes the furious Tybalt back again in triumph and Mercutio slain. Away to heaven, respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Great personification there. Fire-eyed fury. What does he want his fury to be? He wants his fury to conduct his conduct his actions, guide what he's about to do. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again, that late thou gavest me, for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I or both must go with him. So either you or I will die, or we're both going to die and go keep Mercutio company. Thou wretched boy that didst consort him here, shalt with him hence. Like, Tybalt's like, you're the one that's going to go now. This shall determine that. And they fight. Sword fight, sword fight. Tybalt falls. Romeo, away, be gone. The citizens are up and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed, the prince will doom thee death if thou art taken. Hence, be gone. Meaning like, get out of here before the prince comes, because you're going to be sentenced to death. Oh, I am fortune's fool. I have bad luck. Why dost thou stay? And Romeo like books it. All right, enter citizens as officers of the watch come in as well. Which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer, which way ran he? There lies Tybalt. Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name, obey. So enter Prince, old Montague, old Capulet, their wives, and everyone else. Where are the vile beginners of this fray? Oh, noble prince, I can discover all the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man, slain by young Romeo, that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio. Tybalt, my cousin, oh, my brother's child, oh, prince, oh, husband, oh, the blood spilled of my dear kinsman. Prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours shed blood of Montague. Oh, cousin, cousin. So Lady Cap's like crying over Tybalt, her nephew, and she's calling on the prince to stay true to his word, saying, for blood of ours, for our blood that's been fallen, which is Tybalt, shed blood of Montague. You gotta kill Romeo. Remember, she doesn't know that Romeo is her son-in-law now. The drama. Benvolio, who began this bloody fray. So Benvolio is just basically going to recap everything that went down. Tybalt here slain when Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo, that spoke him fair, bid him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. So Romeo is trying to reason with Tybalt and tell him, like, we don't need to fight, like, let's calm down. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt deaf to peace, meaning that Tybalt wouldn't have any of that. He didn't want to maintain any peace. But that he tilts with piercing still at bold Mercutio's breast, who all as hot turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries all out, hold, friends, part! And swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes underneath whose arm, an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled. So Tybalt killed Mercutio as Romeo was trying to stop it, and then Tybalt ran away. But by and by it comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge. And to it they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them, was stout Tybalt slain. So Tybalt came back to Romeo, who had newly entertained revenge, who was very angry, and Romeo slain Tybalt. And as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly, that is the truth, or let Benvolio die. He is a kinsman to the Montague, so Benvolio is a friend of the Montague. Affection makes him false, he speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live. Lady Capulet's kind of losing her head a little bit. She says, don't believe Benvolio, which I kind of get what she's saying there. But then she's saying 20 of them fought and killed one life. Lady, you weren't there. You didn't see what's going on. But ultimately, she's calling on Romeo's death here. Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio, who now the price of his dear blood doth we owe. So Prince is saying, you know, like Tybalt kind of had it coming. Not Romeo, Prince, he was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes that but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt. And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. So what is he doing? Is he going to kill Romeo? No, Mrs. Mendocino, he's not. Instead, Romeo kind of got off lucky. He's being exiled from Verona, meaning that he can no longer come back. I have an interest in your heart's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. So, we just didn't know this before, but Mercutio was the prince's relative. So that's why he's saying my blood was doth lie a-bleeding. Mercutio died. But I'll immerse you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to bleeding, pleading, and excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore, use none. So Prince is saying, like, don't come crying to me. I'm not going to have any sympathy for you because you killed my kinsman. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he is found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will. Mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill. So he's saying, let Romeo leave, or else if he comes back and we find him, he will be killed. Then that last line, mercy but murders, pardoning those that kill. He's saying if you show mercy to murderers, it only leads to more killing, so we can't cut them any slack. All right, and there we have it. Act 3, Scene 1. Big news, a big disruption. You don't want to start your marriage off by being exiled. Not a good idea. All right, so we'll see what problems that causes for Romeo and Juliet eventually. But for now, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Your Act 3, Scenes 1 through 3 worksheet will be due once we're done reading Scenes 2 and 3. And I know there's been some confusion, but the due dates are just like suggested guidelines for you guys to have done the reading. That way you're pacing yourselves. It's a good way to practice some self-discipline and study habits. I just want to help you guys not get everything done that very last day. So I'll be collecting all the worksheets when we get back to school. The gems are due like on their normal due dates to turnitin.com, so that's the only thing you're actually turning in over the next couple weeks. But try and do the work little by little every A-day just to stay on top of everything. All right. Hope you guys are doing great. I'll talk to you in a little bit for Scenes 2 and 3.